Hello. Welcome to the Salle Manger. It's 1 minus a little bit something, almost 1.
It's 1 now.
Oh, it's 1 now. So welcome everyone to the Salle Manger. It's Saturday. It's the weekend, but we don't know which day we are now. It's weekend, weekday. So it's 1 day of the week, and today we are making lasagna. Lasagna, it's rich, heavy, comforting, it's nice, and you can do also, again, whatever you want, depending on your taste, depending on your mood. So I'm going to show you how I'm making the base of the lasagna, and then you can customize your own lasagna the way you want. I'm doing today lasagna with the fan of the beets. This is beautiful beets I received this week from my friend Peter Triber. Peter has a farm in Long Island. You can check his Instagram. His Instagram is Triber Farms, and he delivered product here this week. So I have these beets, so the lasagna will be made with that. I have also spinach, leftover of some spaghetti squash we had this week. My lover, who is behind the camera today, he made that this week. It was new for me, I didn't know that. And it was really, really good. And so you can have meat if you want, you can have vegetables, you can have cheese only. It depends what you do. Some ingredients you have to cook them a little bit, or sear them before, or steam them before. For example, the spinach, you don't need to do anything, just put them raw, it's fine. This one we are going to chuck, when you can't breathe, it was...
Choke?
Choke, yes, to choke them, that's the term in French. The cheese, nothing to do. If you put mushrooms, it's better to sear them a little bit before. So first thing, turn on your oven, 350, not too strong, because we want the lasagna to cook slowly, nice and slowly. So we have the fan here. I washed them before. We do that first, and then I show you. Super busy today, yeah? This is butter I made recently. I had tons of old herbs, parsley, cilantro, mint, many things I had in my fridge, and they were like dying. So I took like a bunch of butter, I made it soft, and then I mixed the butter with the herbs, so that makes a really beautiful flavored butter. So a little bit of butter. If you need to chop your vegetables, a little bit of butter, like that. A little bit of water, not too much. Here. So mushroom, for example, you can cook them like that. It's very good. And here I choose this one, these beets, because look at the color of the steam of the beets. That night they will make like very nice color, because the lasagna are also something very aesthetic. Like you can make layers. That's what we are going to do, like different layers and very defined layers. Then when you cut your lasagna, the layers are very visible, like a piece of art. So the butter is melting. See? You need something to cover. If you don't have to do that, just wait, turn on the oven and wait a few minutes. That takes 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes to do that.
Is it a Swedish wood knife?
Yes, That's a Swedish knife.
asking.
Oh yes, Gisela, it's your knife. It's my friend Gisela sent me that from Sweden. It's a guy is making that in Sweden, and each one is handmade. And Gisela, who remember if you saw the previous video, she's the one who offered me
The mousse.
yes.
Or reindeer, maybe.
Yes. So you see, butter and water. You put that like that. That's it. Extremely simple. We don't need more than that. Remember to rinse really well. If you use spinach, even if they look very clean, rinse them because there is always soil on it. Especially if you buy your things at the farmer markets, rinse everything. Okay, you cover, not too strong, and you leave them like that. Yes, Gisela, how are you? Good? How is Paris today? Okay, yalla, let's go. So, my lasagna, I make them with bechamel. Bechamel, you know this French sauce. It's made with butter, flour, milk, nutmeg, but if you don't have nutmeg or you don't like nutmeg, you can add any other or spice or herb, thyme or rosemary also. It's very good. And at the end I put some eggs also. And a friend of mine, Jean-Jacques, told me this morning, "Oh, you put eggs in your bechamel?" I said, "Yes." He said, "No, that's a sin." I said, "Well, my mom taught me to do it like that." So that's
Sinner.
Sinner, yes. So that's the recipe of my mom. So there's nothing I can do. You come? No, you can stay here, Steve.
Oh, okay.
So let's do the bechamel. This, a nice amount of butter, like 100 grams. If you want to make like a liter of bechamel, this is a liter of milk. You will have all the list of the ingredients in the video later. Here, not too strong because we don't want the butter to burn. So just let it melt like that. And in my lasagna today, I will put the fat of the beets, spinach, cheese, ricotta, and goat cheese. We're going to mix them together. So you need the lasagna, of course. Another kind of cheese for the top. This is Emmental cheese, the Swiss one. The leftover of the spaghetti squash. And that's it. That should be good. So if you have questions about your veggies, or if you put meat, for example, and tomato sauce, you need to cook the meat before. The butter is melting. That's perfect. So yes, if you have questions about your vegetable, should I cook it, should I not cook it, ask me now. Steven is reading your comments. Here, this is the steam of the spinach. Keep them. You can make a soup with that. Don't throw anything. Remember, no waste, 0 waste, or 1% waste. The butter is melting. You need salt and pepper. Also, I forgot to say that. And I think we're good. Are you coming here?
Yes.
Whisk. So you see, the butter is melted now. Out of the, you put 1-2 spoons of flour. You mix well. You need to have something pretty thick. So you see, it's thick already, but we are going to make it a little bit thicker. You can use gluten-free flour. It works. Works really well. And again, this is the basic. As I tell you all the time, try your own things, make your own recipe. You see how is it? Back here, let's look at the vegetables. Don't let them burn. I add a little bit of water and I stop. That's ready here. Back to the bechamel. So now you're going to cook a little bit the butter and the flour. Not too much until it's simmered like that. The milk next to you. So some will tell you, oh, you have to put hot milk. Some will tell you cold milk. My mom was doing with cold milk, so I follow my mom recipe. Okay, you ready? A little bit of milk, not too much. And you go higher. Not super high, but and you see, up it gets thicker immediately. Add milk. And you stir. And you see the bechamel appear. And it gets thicker again. Add milk. You can put all the milk if you want, but then you might be desperate waiting for the bechamel to become thick. So if you add slowly, it's perfect. And you see, it gets, oh, it's too hot. Like you.
Too hot.
What?
I said too hot.
Trop chaud. More milk. We need a lot of bechamel because that will make your lasagna almost decadent. Because all this cream everywhere. Never. Why you stir it all the time? Because you don't want the bechamel. Because the bechamel has a bad habit is to burn very quickly on the bottom, and you don't want the bechamel to burn. You see, getting thicker. More milk. We want a lot of bechamel. And at one point, it won't get thick anymore. So the thickness comes with the effects of the heat and the flour. It's the same when you use corn or potato starch.
Oh, good.
Good?
Starch, yes.
Okay. Should I continue? Yes, add more milk.
Oh, yeah.
Look, you see? You see the texture? And it's very, very, very easy, Simon. There's no reason you fail to do that. You fail all the time. I'll put higher. Not too high, and remember, the heat not very high. Et voilà, le reste, hop. So when the bechamel will be ready, exactly the texture we want, if you leave it on the bowl here, it will get a little bit thicker, because when it's cool, it gets thicker. That's okay. I'll show you what to do. You want it liquid, but not too liquid. Do you have any questions?
I don't think so.
No?
No?
Nothing? Pretty good. It's hot here today. Remember to scrape the bottom, huh? We don't want the bechamel to So you see, the more you add milk, and the more it needs time to thicken. Thicken? Thicken it?
Thicken.
Thicken?
Yes, thicken. Oh, we have a question. How
Yes.
long have you been a chef?
Oh, like I started to cook very, very seriously like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 years ago. 2 years. I don't know why. And I started to enjoy cooking, and so first it was just for me and my lover, but then some friends came and blah blah blah, and I'm cooking every day. It became really a practice because I have another job. I'm running an art space in Brooklyn, the Invisible Dog, and that takes me a lot of time. But cooking has really become a practice, and I love. So I have the feeling I'm not only doing things, but I'm making things, and it's good. And frankly, I think that's why my lover married me. One of the reasons why. Okay, so look. You see how thick it is? That's perfect. That's very good. We don't need thicker than that. You see, when it's down, lower the heat. An egg. With one egg and up immediately, because you don't want the egg, the yolk, to cook inside. And you see, it becomes thicker again. Let's put the second one.
Oh, we had a question. Where do you live?
Where do I live? I live in Brooklyn, New York. Woo. Et voilà.
Center of coronavirus.
Sorry, who said that? Yeah, you know, the center is moving, so maybe it comes to you soon. Well, I always thought like my neighborhood is the center of the world, so we should have like a big...
So of course we have coronavirus.
So, you see, now we add some nutmeg. Not too much, it's strong, it's very strong.
Why do you add the eggs?
My mom told me to do that. And you know, when mom says something...
We're just doing everything she did today.
Yes, I'm doing everything she did. I don't know. You can do it without eggs. If you don't want eggs, it's okay. It's absolutely fine. My friend Jean-Jacques will be happy. Because he doesn't like the idea of putting eggs. But my mom always told me to put eggs in the bechamel, so I'm doing that. I'm a very, very nice kid. And she was a very, very nice mother also. So I always wanted to please her. We are ready. It's fine.
Okay.
Et voilà la bechamel. So, I have a little bit of heavy cream here. If the bechamel gets too thick while it cools, you just add a little bit of heavy cream like that. If you don't have heavy cream, you add a little bit of water. Okay, so now we are going to assemble the lasagna. Can you see everything here, Stephen? Yes?
Yes, I'll zoom in.
So, first thing to do, where is my, here. Little bit of bechamel. You see, it's too thick. So I'm going to add more milk. Easy. Voilà. Little bit of bechamel on the bottom.
Sorry.
You spread. Why? Because you want your lasagna to cook on the bottom. Voilà. Slice of lasagna. 1 and 2. If you want to be absolutely perfect, you do that here. Okay, so here, first row, we are going to put these guys. So don't put the water. So in the center, you put the green. Very hot. Have you ever had fan of beets? It's really, really good. It's super tasty. So as I told you before, it's nice to think about the lasagna when you're going to serve it and cut it. So we are going to put the red part on the edge. They will be very visible. Yes, like that. Et voilà. Okay, so now more bechamel on the top. I told you it's rich, but it's good. Not too much, just a little bit.
Et voilà.
Voilà. What did you say?
Et voilà.
Et voilà. More, and you press. Today we put music in the background. I don't know if you hear it, but we are listening to Péléas et Mélisande from Claude Debussy, an opera from the 19th century.
Péléas.
Péléas. Okay? You press. Now we are going to put cheese. So as I told you, I bought ricotta and goat cheese. And mix both. I add a little bit of salt. Spread it well all around the lasagnas. I'm singing at the same time. Because the Péléas et Mélisande is an opera in French, so it's very easy to sing. Spinach on the top. Spinach, you can be extremely generous with the spinach because, as you know, when they cook, spinach are melting and get very small. Very small, not small. They melt. Okay. More bechamel. Up. Pasta. And you press.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
It's from me. Does it not matter that it's just uneven, or
What's uneven?
like the bechamel and stuff? Does it all kind of equal out and
No, yes, because when it's going to cook, like everything is good.
everything just
Melt together is fine. Don't worry about that. The squash. So you see, we have a red layer, a green layer, and a yellow layer.
Layer.
Yellow layer. Do you want to add cheese here? You can, but I won't. Why? Because then you will really have the taste of every layer and not something mixed with something else. Bechamel. Yes. always. See, you can do that. If you want to make them even, look, you can do that. That's okay. Press well. And then for the top, you really make sure that there is pasta everywhere. Make the pasta really cover everything. And again, even the pasta, they will cook. And you press well. You notice that the plate is on the tray. Why? Just to avoid, if there is something spilling, to avoid to have it in your oven and makes fume. The end of the bechamel.
We have a question.
Yes.
Did your mother use dried pasta?
My mother was using dry pasta. Yes. What kind of pasta are you using? Oh, you mean you cook them? Like
or maybe like.
No, yes.
You know when you can make it at home or something out of a machine.
Oh yes, I mean I've never did that. I'm not a big fan of making pasta at home, to be very honest, because I think it's long, extremely takes a lot of time.
And another question.
Yes.
If you don't have spaghetti squash for the top, what would you suggest?
Oh,
Just anything.
with what? It depends. It depends again. What you put before. One of the good things for the lasagna is you decide to make lasagna with the leftover you have in the fridge. And again, you can mix almost everything together. Do not mix too much, not making a pasticcio, but so it depends what you put before, the first layers. But let's say you don't have spaghetti squash, you can put, I think, someone texted me today about asparagus. That's perfect. Oh yes, this winter I made lasagna with sweet potatoes. The American one, the regular one, the orange one, and the Japanese one. They are white and a little bit harder. So you slice them with a mandolin or with a knife, very, very thin. You put them on a tray, a little bit of olive oil, salt, in the oven for 15 minutes until they get soft. And then you make layer of that. That was very good. Butternut squash also works.
Is it, and it's cooked butternut squash or?
Yes, butternut squash you have to cook them.
And spaghetti squash you have to cook.
Yes,
as well, yeah.
not too much. Just make them soft a little bit. Remember that everything is going to cook here inside for at least an hour.
And that's no boil pasta?
No boiled pasta. This one are just dry, and you put them like that. And now we are going to put some cheese on the top of that. So I like to make my cheese. So this is Emmental cheese. Hello the Swiss. Our friends from Switzerland. Frankly, if your lover doesn't marry you after that, find another one. Not too much. And you remember my friend Jean-Jacques who said, oh no, don't put eggs. Oh, you can't put eggs. Actually, he gave me one day a super tip. He said, put some heavy cream on the top like that. And you know why? That will help the lasagna to make waves Nice waves. That's what he said, and it's true. I don't believe him all the time, but this time I trust him. Now, on the top, depends again of which vegetable or what you did. If you put meat, for example, you can put a lot of thyme on the top. That's good. Here I put pepper, a lot of pepper. Parsley also. Oh, the person who asked me the question about what I put, parsley is very good, or cilantro, but parsley is better. Like a lot of parsley, like a layer of parsley. That will be very, very good. And as we say in French, et voilà. So you see, it took what?
20 minutes?
30 minutes? Yes, 25 minutes to do that. And now all of that goes in the oven. As I told you, not too strong, the oven, 300, it's good, 325. We don't want everything like boiling and getting crazy. We want everything like slowly cook. And at the end, after an hour, somewhere around that, if the top is not gold and brown, you put the heat a little bit more, stronger. And you can open the door of your oven to check that. And I see the question, how do we know when it's cooked inside? Don't worry, if you leave it 1 hour, it will be cooked. If you want to be absolutely sure, with a knife, you plunge
Sure. Yeah.
knife inside the lasagna, and if everything is soft inside, there's nothing hard. That's why you have to be careful to put like a lot of bechamel and cream around on the top. Then there's no dry lasagna burning on the side. Et voilà. Saturday is over. It's 1:30. Do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions on here.
No.
Sorry. No.
Okay, so if no questions, good luck with the lasagna for tonight. I want to remind you that all the recipes are online, and we have created YouTube channel this week. Yes, because my goal is to become a YouTube star. And the link is on my Instagram, Lucien Chef Ambition. There is the recipe, an hour-long recipe for a lemon tart, apparently very successful. There's a lot of views also. Next week, two things. Two things I want to tell you. You remember I told you last time, your hands are extremely dry because you wash them all the time, but they are still very dry. Use that. It's glycerin. You wash your hands, do that before going to bed. You put like some glycerin in your hands, and you will see your hand will be like really like not oily. Sorry.
I'll hold it.
Up. It's very, there's not fat, how you say that? Not oily, not fat, not greasy. You'll see Beets. Looks like sugar. And just do that, and that, and that, and that. And even better, since we have to put gloves, you can put gloves while you sleep. You put that, some gloves, and you go to bed. And the day after, look, it's much better than yesterday. Everything is healing, and it's very nice. Next week, 3 rendezvous, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And next week we will make recipes with this magic book publisher, les éditions de l'Épure. They have published something like 350 books like that. So it's one book, one ingredient, and 10 ways to prepare it, to make them. So we have for next week, I didn't make my choice, but broccoli, probably a chocolate cake, something with lettuce, maybe a bread, I don't know. And we will make with them a kind of, I don't know, not contest, but like a game. If you post what you did with them, I offer you one of these books. Some of them are in English, some of them are in French, and I think they have Italian edition also. So we'll see. I have a lot. I'm a big fan of them. So that's why. So it's a young independent publisher, and we need to help them. So next week it's recipes only from them. Sabine, if you see me, get ready. Thank you, my friend.
Question.
Yes.
Do you let it cool before you serve when you take it out?
Yes, always. Let it cool, it's better.
Okay.
Even if you serve it the day after, it's better. Do not reheat it. If you reheat the lasagna too much, they will dry. So be extremely careful with that. So if you eat them the day after, when they come out of the oven, cover them, put them in the fridge, for example, and the day after you reheat, but very slowly. You can add a little bit of heavy cream on the top, but it will dry a little bit. But yes, for today or tonight, after an hour, you let them cook. Not too hot. Anything hot is not good because it burns your tongue, it burns your mouth, and then you don't enjoy. You can kiss your lover after that. Really.
Okay.
Okay, did I forget something?
No.
It's good. Have a beautiful Saturday. Thank you so much, and see you next week, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 1 p.m. I'm going to post very soon the ingredients you need for these recipes. Bye.